Hello there, and welcome back to Awakening Apes. Today, we will revisit a topic we previously touched upon in an earlier video. Imagine, it's October 13th, 1307. The air is thick with tension, and the dawn of a fateful day begins to unfold. You and everybody you know will get arrested. Your only crime was that you and your order held more power than the King of France, and some say, even more than the Pope himself. Fortunately, your order, the Knights Templar, had spies throughout Europe, so you knew the arrests were coming. Your sole objective is to save as many of your brothers and as much of your order's treasures and knowledge as possible. So, what's your plan? Will you engage in an uphill battle, or will you set sail to explore new lands? Or perhaps you'll seek refuge in the nearby mountain range? Yes, my fellow awakening mammals. Today's episode will ask the question, was Switzerland founded by the Knights Templar? Most historians will tell you no, but you'll be surprised to hear about all the similarities between Switzerland and the Knights Templar that mainstream historians are too afraid to connect. Ultimately, you decide if those are all just coincidences, or if there might be more to the story. All you have to do is lean back and enjoy the video. But first, before we start, let me say, we at Awakening Apes want to provide a free speech platform. We encourage you to partake in civil discussion in the comments section. Only if we share our thoughts can we strive for a better understanding of the world. Additionally, we would like to mention that we have no ill feelings towards Swiss people, and we certainly don't want to offend anybody. Everything in this video is meant for education and entertainment. So let's start. Why Switzerland? What is so special about Switzerland? Well, let's put the nation into perspective. This is Switzerland. For our American watchers, Switzerland is about the same size as Maryland. It only has a population of 8.7 million. Switzerland's biggest city is Zurich, with a population of 400,000. Yet Switzerland holds an unbelievable amount of power and influence on the global stage. It is regarded to hold the most and most important NGOs worldwide relative to its population. Institutions like the World Health Organization, the World Trade Organization, and the International Committee of the Red Cross, which is directly connected to the Knights of Malta. We just made a video where we talk a little about the Knights of Malta. Go watch it. Most people know the World Economic Forum is held in Davos, Switzerland, by everybody's favourite person, Klaus Schwab. Also, CERN is in Switzerland. But the most important institution, most people have never heard of, is the Bank for International Settlements, which acts as a central bank for the central banks. The Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank, and many more all report, in a sense, to the Bank of International Settlements in Switzerland. Isn't that crazy? Such a small nation, about the size of Bhutan, with so much centralized power. Even within Central Europe, Switzerland is considered rich. How is that even possible? The easiest answer is that Switzerland has always been neutral, so people decided to install international institutions on neutral ground. But you know us, a simple answer like that won't quench our thirst. The next question is, how did Switzerland remain neutral throughout history? I mean, other nations certainly didn't want to get involved in both world wars, yet they had no option. One could argue that Switzerland's geographical features contribute to its defensibility, and indeed, Switzerland as a whole is notoriously difficult to invade. However, its major populated cities are situated in flat valleys easily accessible. An interesting side note is that during the Second World War, Switzerland developed a strategy to forfeit most cities and retreat into the mountains to preserve the essence of the nation. Wouldn't the essence of the nation be the people living in it? So if it isn't the people, what is it? This is where the Knights Templar come into play. Let me clarify that we will not delve deeply into the history and identity of the Knights Templar in this video. There is an abundance of really good videos and books already made. If you don't know who they were, I highly recommend reading up on them. Is it possible that, in 1307, when the Knights Templars knew they would be arrested, they took all their treasures and tried to hide it in the nearby Alps? The founding of Switzerland and the dissolution of the Knights Templar occurred around the same period. So are there any more similarities? Yes, there are quite a bit. Let's start with the flag. The Knights Templar emblem consists of a red cross on a white background, whereas Switzerland's flag features a white cross on a red background. Coincidence? Maybe. The Knight Templar were known to be one of the first and most successful bankers in Europe. Today, half the world has their fortunes in some vault in Switzerland. Interestingly, despite being regarded as one of, if not the wealthiest groups of people, no substantial amount of gold or other treasures were found when the French king and the Pope raided their homes and castles. So where did all the treasure go? Let's scratch on Switzerland's famous neutrality. Sure, Switzerland was fairly neutral during both world wars, but they weren't so neutral in previous wars. Their mercenaries were regarded as the most capable in Europe. There is a reason the Pope only wants Swiss people protecting him. Maybe they inherited their military strength. Furthermore, have you ever wondered why so many rich and influential people from around the world choose to send their children to boarding schools in Switzerland? From JFK to Gandhi, from Freddie Mercury to Kim Jong-un, all have studied in Switzerland when they were young. There are so many famous people who attend boarding schools in Switzerland. We could go down a list for the next 30 minutes, and you'd likely recognise most names. And that's not even counting Klaus Schwab's famous Young Global Leader programme, which has produced many current politicians. In my opinion, this certainly raises eyebrows, but it's by no means proof that an order 700 years ago founded Switzerland. To summarise, I personally believe there is absolutely a good chance that at least part of the Knights Templar tried to hide in the closest mountain range, which we now know as Switzerland. So what do you think? Do you think Switzerland's immense influence just comes from nowhere? Or do you think they might be the descendants of a much older power? If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to our channel. For now, we wish you an eye-opening week and look forward to seeing you in our next video.